They say perfection is a journey, and at Carolina Stone Craftsman, that journey leads us to just outside Columbia in Chapin. Our marble, our granite, our quartz, they're sculpted with the highest craftsmanship, honed with family values, and delivered with professional results. Explore the craftsmanship of each slab, see all our new showroom has to offer, and experience our custom hardscapes. Crafted to perfection, experience Carolina Stone Craftsman's workmanship. Take us for granted. Your journey to perfection starts with us, Carolina Stone Craftsman, just beyond Columbia and Chapin and beyond your expectations. CarolinaStoneCraftsman.com.
See website for details. Bills Happen is not a lender and does not make credit decisions. Must be 18 years old. Not available in all states.
Honey, the credit card bill came and we're maxed out.
Great. Maxed out cards, rent is due, bills are piling up. We just need some extra cash to help us get by for a few weeks.
We should do what my brother did. He went to billshappen.com and got $3,000 the next day.
With our bad credit, I don't think so.
Billshappen.com is different. They are one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with all credit types get up to $5,000.
I'm sure there's a lot of paperwork.
Nope, my brother said it was easy. He did it right from his phone.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan for up to $5,000 in minutes, and your cash can hit your bank account the next day. Billshappen.com's lenders have millions of dollars to lend, regardless of your credit history.
Great news! I went to billshappen.com, and we will have our money as soon as tomorrow.
Wow, that is fast.
If you need extra cash, go to billshappen.com. That's billshappen.com. Billshappen.com.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
This is Josh Simon, your South Carolina Gamecocks tight end. You are now listening to 107.5 The Game.
A Cumulus media station.
It's Reaction Monday. Tell us all about it.
Our quarterback, I think, is the best player in the country, and he put this team on his back in the fourth quarter, and it was really, really cool to watch.
It's inside the 20, 15-10, at the 5, going for the far pylon. He dives. Touchdown, Carolina. Touchdown, LaNorris Sellers.
Sponsored by Carolina Honda Powerhouse, your local Honda motorcycle, ATV side-by-side superstore. Exit 70 up I-20, turn by the Flying J. Online at carolinahonda.com.
From the Midlands to the PD to the beach, the Game Network.
$11 on your Monday morning, a Reaction Monday. It is the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour presented by Firehouse Subs. Tyler Head, Chris Clark, West Mitchell will be along with us in just a moment. I kind of started off the 9 a.m. with this as well. Wow, what a game. We're going to be talking about this one for a very, very long time, and rightfully so. Carolina goes in there as an underdog, 2.5 points, 3.5 points, whatever the line ended up closing at, and ended up winning by pretty much that margin with a thrilling victory in the Upstate.
Gamecocks did not take the lead, never had the lead until a minute 8, I think, left in the game, something that Clemson coach Dabo Swinney talked about after the game. I mean, on one hand, I was going to say, where do you start? Because there's a lot to digest, but I think we have to start with number 16. I think we got to start with LaNorris Sellers. You can't say that he was the only – I've seen some of that. He was the only reason South Carolina won the game. I don't agree, and we'll go into why. But can you say he was the primary reason? I would agree with that. I mean, he was the difference.
If LaNorris Sellers does not play on Saturday, Carolina does not win that game. Is that fair to say?
I think that is very fair to say. And, man, he is such a special player. His growth from game 1 to game 12 has been amazing. We saw last year during his redshirt season some glimpses of the special talent. We saw some glimpses of it early in the season. But as he has played meaningful games against one of the top schedules in the country, he has just gotten better and better. And some of the plays that he made, the runs that he made on Saturday were just, I mean, I can't recall anything like it. Just the way his vision, the way he bounces off guys, the way they bounce off him, his escapability in the pocket. You know, Carolina gave up 3 sacks in the game. It should have been probably at least double that.
Yeah.
He scores both your touchdowns. I mean, just a legendary performance.
And Wes, as we've talked about so much these past couple weeks, this is just who he is now. Yeah, we saw those plays here and there at the beginning of the season. But these past 6 games, I've lost count at the amount of times he's done exactly that you just come to expect it. Once he gets about 4 or 5 steps into that stride, there's really no bringing him down. And as he mentioned, we're going to kind of focus on the touchdown runs more than anything else, but made play after play after play. Explosive runs are defined by runs of more than 10 yards. Carolina had 9 of them on Saturday. 7 of those were LaNorris Sellers. And I'm sure a lot of people have already seen it by now. The guy from Pro Football Focus tweeted out that since they've been charting this since 2014, no quarterback has broken more tackles or forced more missed tackles in a single game than Sellers did on Saturday with 18.
Yeah, I mean, Ashton Jeanty, just players in general, is the only guy to have more this year. And Ashton Jeanty may win the Heisman, running back from Boise State. He's had 20. Again, I mean, I'm almost speechless in just trying to describe it. And you're right, Wes. Like, it's hard to describe. It's hard to get used to. But at the same time, by the end of that game, Sellers making that touchdown run, you're just like, I mean, yeah, that's an incredible run, but it's nothing you haven't seen before. Like, he's done it in that game. He's done it this season. And you do have to take a step back and just say, this is not normal. This is not normal behavior. I think this performance has, certainly Clemson fans are now aware of LaNorris Sellers. Some of them had seen him coming into this game a little bit. They'd seen some clips before the season. It's funny, a lot of people are bringing out the receipts. Mm-hmm. A lot of Clemson, you don't have a quarterback. Heck, even some Carolina fans are saying you don't have a quarterback after, 1 game, 3 games, 4 games. Carolina has a quarterback. And, Shane Beamer said after the game that LaNorris Sellers is the best player in the country. And you hear that and you go, oh. But, I mean, you could make a case for it. I mean, he is playing as well as anybody. When the ball is in his hands, you have confidence. It's not, oh, no. It's not like when the ball is in LaNorris Sellers' hands, especially now at the end of the game, because look at what he's done lately, you feel like good things are going to happen.
And, Wes, I want to go back to something you kind of mentioned a moment ago, watching him play at South Florence against AC Florida. And, again, everybody in the stadium knew he was going to get the ball. He won at South Florence, state championships, big games. It was in huge moments time and time again where he had to put team on his back, I'm sure plenty of times. And there's something to be said about guys that just have that winning gene in them. And, yeah, when we talk about recruits, we talk about star ratings, talk about measurables and all those kind of things. But there's something to be said about guys that have been in situations where they have to win games before, as I'm sure Sellers was plenty of times in his career in high-level games at South Florence, that when he's in a game like on Saturday, he doesn't blink and he goes out there and makes the right play. I think that's a smart decision.
There's something else that's getting, in my opinion, almost a little bit lost. And it's not like it hasn't been mentioned, but I think the focus so much being on Sellers' performance and how incredible it was and him winning and leading the team back, the individual plays that he made. That would be impressive if he were a fifth-year senior, a sixth-year senior. He's a redshirt freshman. And people know that, right? Like, it's been discussed. These kids are, but like, just stop and think about that for a second. This is his first year playing as a starter. He got a cup of coffee last year. That was about it. This is his first year as a starter playing this schedule. He's on a 9-3 team. He's gotten better and better. He just won his first rivalry game. Carolina's in the college football playoff conversation, and I agree. There's a lot of credit to go around. It's not just Sellers. It's the defense.
Yep.
There's plenty more there. But he's now the best player on that team that we just described. And so for him to do that in year one is incredible. I mean, it would be a great resume that he's put together if he were in his final year, if he was a finished product. Yep. He's not a finished product. He can get better.
Yeah. By the way, do we have a settled nickname for this game? I've been going with Third and Sellers personally. Seeing some other people out there. Do we have any other submissions for this? It deserves one. It deserves one.
I don't.
Yeah. Firehouse Subs text on 803-404-6100. Let us know what your name for this game is, because it's got to have some name, because we're going to be talking about it for a very long time to come. Certainly, as Sellers' career continues to develop, we're going to look back on probably one of the most important games of his career here at South Carolina. We'll get to some of your thoughts on that, as well as on Love Chevrolet phone lines, as the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour presented by Firehouse Subs rolls along. It's Always and Chris, and your Reaction Monday here on the game.
The Game Network in Columbia.
107.5 The Game.
In Florence.
100.5 The Game.
In Myrtle Beach.
100.3 The Game.
Hate paying for streaming? One more thing you got to stream and pay for? Well, the Game app is, wait for it, free.
It's free! It's free! It's free!
Yes, all you got to do is go to iTunes or Google Play and download the 107.5 The Game app and listen for nothing in all respects of the word. Nothing. 107.5 The Game. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios.
Take up to $20,000 off new Silverados.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. Together, let's drive.
All right, y'all know what's up next. Firehouse Subs, telling you about them for lunch, dinner, or any of your catering needs. Shout out to Larry Chandler, owner-operator of all 15 Midlands Firehouse Subs locations. No matter where you are in the Midlands, there's a Firehouse Subs close to you. FirehouseSubs.com, or use my favorite method to check out their menu with all of your Firehouse Subs favorites. Be able to use the Rapid Rescue to Go to avoid the wait and order online and earn yourself some rewards toward future Firehouse Subs. That is the Firehouse Subs app. Super easy to download, free. If you don't have an account, you can register very quickly, and then you're able to, again, use the Rapid Rescue to Go to avoid the wait and order online. If you haven't heard, the Firehouse Subs hot sauce bar is actually back now. Add some flavor to any sub when you dine in or pick up. FirehouseSubs.com, or download the Firehouse Subs app today. Go get it.
Get ready to ring in the holiday season with Gamecock fans of all ages at the Making Spirits Bright Holiday Pop-Up Experience at Williams-Brice Stadium, presented by Coca-Cola. Tickets are now on sale for this $5.90 event in December and are only $10. Get your tickets today to join us at the Making Spirits Bright Holiday Pop-Up and experience the magic of the holiday season with us. Visit GamecocksOnline.com/holiday to learn more.
Honey, look, the hookers. They've moved off the highway and now they're all over the parking lot.
What are all those Schroeder's towing trucks doing in that parking lot, though?
Must be towing all those unauthorized cars parked in the lot. Good thing the business owner called Schroeder's Towing to keep their parking lot clear for just their customers. Didn't those cars see the free signage that Schroeder's provides to business owners to deter unauthorized parking?
I guess not.
Schroeder's Towing, the best and fastest hookers in town.
I'm here with the mortgage guru, Jacob Crowder of First Palmetto Bank. Jacob, tell me more about this 4.99% 30-year fixed product you are offering in Richland County. We have a community reinvestment product in the areas of Richland County. Blythewood, Northeast, Southeast, and the I-20 corridor are areas that we're offering the 4.99% interest with a 5.075 APR on a 30-year fixed mortgage. We are underserving these areas, so the bank is offering 100% purchase loans at 4.99% on a 30-year fixed. No points, no mortgage insurance, no gimmicks, just lower payments.
4.99% is awesome. What's a payment look like?
Yes, Bill. A payment on $200,000 at that APR is at $1,072 a month for 360 months. A payment on $300,000 is at $1,608. These estimates do not include taxes and insurance. These loans are only for primary residences, and the loan amounts are capped at $300,000. Call me today. My number is 803-719-1005, or you can email me at jcrowder@firstpalmetto.com.
All loans are subject to credit approval and property appraisal. First Palmetto Bank is a member of the FDIC and an equal housing lender. My NMLS number is 198432.
What you're talking about. Sponsored by Love Chevrolet, with a lot chock full of brand new award-winning Chevys. And just in time for the season. I-26 in Harbison and online at lovechevy.com. Together, let's drive.
AAA Heating and Air is on the hunt to find the oldest AC unit in our Midland service area. Do you think it could be yours? If you do, it could pay off. AAA Heating and Air and My Oldest AC contest is kicking off, and you have a chance to win a new HVAC system for your home. Just head over to their website, myoldAir.com, and complete the online entry form. AAA Heating and Air will draw a winner at random for every 100 entries. It really is that easy. Contest is limited time only. Residents in the AAA Heating and Air service area are eligible to enter. See the terms and rules on their website for a full list of contest rules.
Hit us up on the Firehouse Subs text line, 803-404-6100.
Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game. Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence. It's Reaction Monday.
Sponsored by Carolina Honda Powerhouse. CarolinaHonda.com.
Your home of the Gamecocks in the Midlands. 107.5 The Game. Also heard on the Grand Strand at 100.3 The Game. And in the PD at 100.5 The Game in Florence.
3 wide receivers over to the left side. Harbor over to the right. Sellers in the pocket. Up in the pocket. Gonna run inside the 20. 10. LaNorris Sellers going left side. 5. Touchdown, Carolina. Touchdown. Touchdown, LaNorris Sellers. From 20 yards out. The Gamecocks take the lead at Death Valley with 1:08 to go in the ball game. Boom, are you kidding me?
Welcome back in. It is the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour. Tyler West, Chris along with you on your Reaction Monday, sponsored by Firehouse Subs. We'll get to Third and Sellers, as I like to call it there, in a second. Again, Todd and Tommy on the call on Saturday. But first, coming up on Thursday, women's basketball taking on Duke over at Colonial Life Arena. 9 o'clock tip, late game there. I have 2 pairs of tickets right now for callers number 4 and 5, 803-404-6100. Ed Birch standing by to take your calls. Again, caller number 4 and 5. Win yourself a pair of tickets to go see the Lady Gamecocks take on Duke a little bit later on this week over at Colonial Life Arena. Quickly, as we kind of loop back into the Sellers conversation here, we're talking about kind of how he's come on late in the season. I went back and looked at compiled the numbers for his last 6 games. Of course, the 6-game winning streak for Carolina, 1,481 yards passing, 67% completion, 13 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 436 rush yards, and 4 rushing touchdowns.
That is pretty good.
Pretty darn good, man.
I mean, yeah, he has turned into, I mean, everything you could hope for, right? I mean, if LaNorris Sellers, again, was to go back to what I said last segment, if he was playing this well and had been on your team for 2-3 years, you'd be thrilled. To know that you have this with the possibility to get even better for, maybe a couple more years. He's a redshirt freshman, is super exciting. And, it's all come together for South Carolina, and 16's just a huge part of that. I mean, they're one of the hottest teams in the country. He's one of the hottest players in the country. He's just been integral to their success. It's been a heck of a lot of fun to watch. And I think even for folks, Wes, you and I, we had heard from so many people. We saw Sellers in high school. I know we were both really high on him. The first time I saw him play was as a sophomore, and I think he put up 63 on an Irmo team that had Nikki Manwari on defense. A really good Irmo team. And I went, oh, who's this kid committed to Virginia? And then you just kept watching his progression throughout his high school career, got better and better. I think we all had high expectations, knew his talent level, but I got to admit, man, this soon, making plays like that, it has still just been incredible to watch.
I will try and get Wes back on here in just a second. But like you said, you guys have been watching him, all the way since back in the high school days. And again, when you kind of look, and I was listening to Josh Pate's podcast last night, and he gave a lot of praise to LaNorris Sellers, and he said he's somebody that outside of this bubble was not being talked about a whole lot coming out of high school. It's not, a 5-star super flash kind of guy, but obviously now has really grabbed the attention of the nation, and somebody that, there's still more football to be played this year, obviously, with whatever the postseason ends up looking like, and we'll certainly get into that, but this is a guy that's going to have all kinds of hype surrounding him going into year number 2 as the starter.
Yeah, and guys, I think when you look at this situation moving forward, you're probably, I think we're not, I don't think it's too early to be thinking about what the national conversation is going to be about LaNorris next season. And, when you go into next year, you're going to be talked about, I think, as a guy that's on the board for Heisman. I think you're going to be talking about someone who's talked about as a future first-round pick. And, when you can be as dynamic as he is at the quarterback position, and you look at a game in football that is so QB-driven, you look at the league ahead of him in the NFL, which is next, obviously, how quarterback driven the NFL is, as soon as word is out on this guy, and I would say the word is now out, he's going to become a national name, I think. And we're seeing that happen right before our very eyes. I mean, even when I was down there getting the stream for Gamecock Central, when the team got back to Columbia on Saturday, the number of people just yelling for LaNorris and wanting LaNorris's attention and hollering for him, he has now very quickly become the face of your program if you're South Carolina in terms of current players. And, that comes with an entirely different level of, I would say, not concerns, but just things as a player that you now have to deal with. And so I have no doubt he will be able to handle those things. But certainly, as I said in the open, LaNorris has gone national. And, I think a lot of people, not just here in Columbia, but around the college football world, are excited to see exactly what this dude can be with another year of experience under his belt.
Shane Beamer was not shy about his admiration for Sellers, not only what he did on Saturday, what he's done this back half of the season. Cut number 17 here, Ed, if you can. Coach Beamer making his case for Sellers being the best player in the country and maybe winning a trophy as well.
LaNorris Sellers is the best player in the country. And all you media people that vote on the Heisman, if you're not voting for that guy in the mix for the Heisman Trophy, you're out of your minds. Like, name a player in the country that's done more than that kid has this year, particularly today. In the environments that he's done it in the moments that he's done it in. I mean, he put our team on his back today. He put our team on his back today, and we talked at halftime that Clemson had played a great first half, and a lot of their guys had made a lot of individual plays, and that we needed our guys. Like, guys, best players needed to step up and make plays, and that kid sure as hell did. What a performance to be third and forever down there on that last drive, and him to do what he did. He's special.
Of course, the Heisman Trophy, it's going to go to Travis Hunter, Ashton Jenney, or Cam Ward, or somebody like that. That's already kind of set in stone. But I go back to those numbers that I presented a moment ago. Just for these last 6 games of the regular season, where they've been on this winning streak, let's double them, right? So let's say next year, LaNorris Sellers replicates this over 12 games, and he has about 3,000 passing yards, 26 passing touchdowns, 6 interceptions, just shy of 1,000 yards rushing, and 8 more rushing touchdowns. You're telling me that's not worthy of being in New York? It absolutely is.
Well, he'll be on the, when the season gets closer, the 2025 season, and, here are the Vegas odds for the Heisman Trophy winner for the 2025 season. He'll be on that list. I don't know where he'll be, but he'll have odds. And he won't be number 30 on the list. He won't be number 1 probably, but he'll be in there, and he'll be in the mix. And again, he's already putting together this back half of the season, especially, a tremendous resume. South Carolina's, team success will weigh into that. We're obviously getting way ahead of ourselves, but he has put the country on notice for sure of his talent level and ability.
Well, and who are you even picking in the SEC? Like, and again, I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves either, but going into next year, the discussion in this league, like go back to some of those graphics that came out prior to this year, and because and it's because LaNorris was an unknown. I get that, but you have people putting him as last or second to last in the entire SEC coming into the year. You're going to go into next year. It's going to be him. It's going to be Nico. It's going to be DJ Lagway. Like those are going to be the guys that people are talking about as the proven playmaking quarterbacks going into the 2025 season in the SEC. And it's probably going to be a big discussion actually between LaNorris and Lagway on who should be the best returning quarterback in the league. So when you talk about just the perception of who you are as a player being that compared to what it was coming into the year, it's going to be fascinating to see what that means, because as we know, love it or not, the team rankings a lot of times are driven early on by what you did the past season and what you did in the off season. And these individual awards are sometimes driven, especially early on, by what the expectation is for you coming into a season.
Well, it wasn't just LaNorris Sellers. The defense stepped up on Saturday, made plays when they needed to as well, including at the very end of the game. We'll dive into defensive performances coming up next. It is the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour presented by Firehouse Subs on your Reaction Monday, celebrating South Carolina's 17-14 win over the team from the upstate here on the game.
From the Midlands to the PD to the beach.
The Game Network.
It's back! The Lawyer Lisa Special Teams Contest. Just go to 1075thegame.com and register. The pot starts at $100. Every week it increases $100 if Carolina doesn't score a special teams touchdown. But if the Gamecocks do score a special teams touchdown, you could win the pool. Again, just go to 1075thegame.com and register. It's the Lawyer Lisa Special Teams Contest from 1075 The Game.
All right, our friends over at Integrated Media can help make sure that your home is the place to be to catch up and continue watching all of this amazing college football action this season. Whether you're just chilling at the house by yourself, you're with your family, you want to host a party, heck, if you want to watch the college football playoff show tomorrow night, and all of the great college football action, Integrated Media can help you level up your home. Whether you need a new TV, you want to install Sonos wireless speakers, a sound bar, surround sound. Make sure your internet is great throughout your home for streaming on multiple devices all across your home or outside on your patio, screen porch, fire pit area. They can help you with it. IntegratedMediaInc.com. If you want some examples of their past work, Michael and Nathan have been to my home. They've been to Wes's home. They can come out to yours too. Check them out at Integrated Media Columbia on Facebook or Instagram. And you can always give them a call at 803-948-8327. That's Michael and Nathan at Integrated Media.
I'm with Jason Reynolds of the Samuels Reynolds Law Firm. Jason, why should someone injured on the job or in a vehicle accident consider your firm?
Well, we're not a huge firm with just a phone number and a website. When you bring your case to us, you actually meet with your lawyer. And when you call, you can actually speak to your lawyer. We also have a diverse team that understands you and where you're coming from.
Samuels Reynolds. True injuries, true lawyers. 803-779-4000.
Hi, my name is John, and I'm self-employed, and we got sidetracked on our taxes at the 2008 recession, and it became a monster that we couldn't tackle ourselves. We heard about the Ecton Law Firm on the radio and contacted John. If you could classify someone as a miracle worker, I would put him at the top of the list because he took our problem and resolved it for us with our not only our unpaid taxes, but our unfiled tax returns from previous years. And I would highly recommend the Ecton Law Firm.
It's great to know we have changed people's lives for the better. Hi, this is local attorney John Ecton with the Ecton Law Firm. For over a decade, our office has been dedicated to helping hardworking individuals and businesses solve tax problems for good. So if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are facing IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, call our office today at 771-9800 or go to EctonLawFirm.com. That's ECTON lawfirm.com. Let's get your tax problem solved for good. Call today. You'll be glad you did.
Honey, would you take a seat? I have a confession to make.
What is it? What's wrong?
Well, I was out driving today and I saw some hookers on the side of the road. A bunch of huge, professional, beautiful-looking hookers. So I did what I was supposed to do. I slowed down and I moved over.
You slowed down for the hookers?
Well, yeah, it's the law. There was a whole fleet of Schroeder's towing trucks assisting with an accident. Wait, what did you think I was talking about?
Schroeder's Towing reminds you to slow down and move over for all first responders.
Schroeder's Towing, the best and fastest hookers in town.
Calling all business owners and property managers.
Is it finally time to get that parking lot or driveway repaved?
Call Black Seal today. Black Seal is a locally owned commercial asphalt construction and maintenance company, servicing local churches, schools, shopping centers, warehouses, restaurants, you name it.
If it needs asphalt paving or asphalt repair,
Black Seal has you covered. If you're looking to pave your parking lot or driveway, Black Seal paves the way. Black Seal also provides maintenance options to maintain your asphalt
and improve your curb appeal.
Get your free estimate and visit blacksealsc.com to learn more.
You are not going to believe this. Zerorez Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning has extended their Black Friday sale for this week only. Book soon to get 3 rooms and a free hallway for $119, a sofa for $129, or $75 off your air duct cleaning. You have to book before December 7th to capture these great savings, so schedule your appointment now before it's too late. Schedule online, ZerorezColumbia.com. Zerorez is the right way to clean.
what you're talking about. Sponsored by Love Chevrolet, the home of the famous $1,000 low price guarantee. I-26 in Harbison and online at lovechevy.com. Together, let's drive. It's Reaction Monday.
Sponsored by Carolina Honda Powerhouse. CarolinaHonda.com.
Your home of the Gamecocks in the Midlands. 107.5 The Game. Also heard on the Grand Strand at 100.3 The Game. And in the PD at 100.5 The Game in Florence. What you're talking about.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
On the Game Network.
Sun shining on his helmet, and they're all about into the shadows. In the pocket, rolling right side, throws underneath. Is the ball picked off?
Got it!
It is! The Gamecocks have got it on a turnover. They shut it down at Death Valley with a pick with 12 seconds to go in the ball game, and Carolina leading 17-14.
Welcome back in. It is the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour presented by Firehouse Subs. Tyler West, Chris along with you on your Reaction Monday. That was the call. Didn't officially end the game, but after a kneel down, the game was over after Demetrius Knight picks off Cade Klubnik. 12 seconds to go with Clemson driving, only needing a field goal to tie the game to help South Carolina secure the victory. And, you know, we've talked about the defense so much this year and the guys that came in from the transfer portal, like Kyle Kennard, like Demetrius Knight, and the impact they've had. So it just makes it all the more special to see a guy like that in his final regular season game, first time in the Clemson or South Carolina-Clemson rivalry, making that kind of play to seal it for South Carolina.
Yeah, D. Knight, just one of the best guys that I've seen roll through this program, just as a human, but he is a heck of a football player too. And just, you kind of worry, honestly, when it can be worrisome for a coach when hey, we got to go out and get some guys from the portal. You don't always know what you're going to get. You can do as much research as you possibly can, but how are all these different personalities going to integrate? NIL is obviously a part of the portal, right? You're trying to keep your culture, but you've got to improve the talent level on your team. And, South Carolina really just struck gold with its transfer class because they upgraded their talent. They got a bunch of guys like the guys you just mentioned, Tyler, and others that come in here with experience. They're fifth-year guys, fourth-year guys, sixth-year guys, DeAndre Jules. Just a group of really good kids who are really good football players who absolutely did integrate well into this team and who care, and Demetrius Knight, awesome moment to see him get to seal the game with the pick. Great play to keep that ball off the ground. He was in on the big fourth down stop early in the game, and that was just kind of
the tackle on the play before to Maffa to keep him from getting the first down.
That's right.
For that as well.
So he made a bunch of big plays during the game. And look, were there some moments that weren't so great for the defense throughout the game? Sure. But at the end of the day, they answered the call because they made a bunch of big plays. They picked up the offense when the Gamecock offense turned over the ball multiple times, didn't give up any points off turnovers. So really cool to see him get to seal the game. And you could tell it meant something to him.
Yeah, and guys, I think our expectations for this defense are so high at this point that's why when they do make a mistake or they do allow a deep ball or something like that, you're almost a little bit surprised. Like we have shifted what we expect out of this defense, but at the end of the day, they hold the by some statistics, the number 6 offense in the country coming into that game to 14 points, which, is ultimately what you want. They put a great amount of emphasis, not necessarily on in between the 20s or what happens. They have their kind of put the ball down mantra. Ultimately, it's about points and giving your team a chance to win. Very much since Beamer has arrived, they've tried to take a kind of a holistic approach to the game of football where offense, defense, and special teams all work together. And that was the case on Saturday, getting just enough out of each of those sides of the ball to go get the win. And like y'all said, I mean, D-Knight, just what a special dude. We had him on the show before the year. Could not have been more impressed with him. He was actually one of the first guys off the bus when they got back into Columbia on Saturday, holding the trophy, running up and down in front of the fans, just grinning ear to ear. Great moment for him. And guys, we've been listening to these calls, by the way, from Todd and Tommy. And so I wanted to go ahead and let everybody know on tomorrow's show, we're actually going to be joined by Tommy Suggs as a guest to talk about South Carolina's win over Clemson.
Breaking news.
We didn't even know about that. That's cool.
That's why it's breaking news.
There you go.
I love a good live announcement. Good pull there. That'll be awesome. That Tommy Suggs knows a thing or two about the Clemson-Carolina rivalry. Man.
Yeah, he's seen probably more of them than anybody at this point.
He definitely has. Beamer shouted him out.
Yep.
Walking around.
He shouted at both him and Todd. As Beamer was on cloud 9 on Saturday in that post-game presser. Rightfully so.
They put him down there like under the bleachers basically for the post-game.
That's what I was wondering, because you hear him talking and some of the clips we played, and there's a lot of like background noise. I'm like, are they in the locker room, outside the locker room? But they're under the bleachers.
They're like outside the locker room, kind of in, kind of a not a tunnel, but it's basically under the seats.
Okay.
I mean, kind of. I'll show it to you.
That's an interesting stadium design. Okay.
Yeah, kind of bizarre. They probably do that on purpose.
I guess so. Yeah. Don't want to give the opposing head coach luxuries. I guess
he had some fun with it. But I think, guys, to go back to the defense again, overall, you give up 14 points, you get stop after stop, you seal the game with the stop. Now you cause some heartburn. You let him go right down the field.
Yeah.
But you got it done. And I think maybe the biggest surprise about the performance, number one, maybe Clemson hitting some of the deep balls, but that was a concern for me going into the game. We knew they'd take some shots. We knew that in man coverage, they were probably going to try to get the ball out quick. I think South Carolina has shown some susceptibility to that. But Clemson was just bound and determined, hey, we're not going to sit back there for 3 or 4 seconds and let Kyle Kennard and Dylan Stewart and the rest of this group wreck our game plan. They were going to get the ball out very quickly. And Carolina, you could tell schematically, was really honing in on not letting Cade Klubnik break the pocket. Now, he did a couple times, but no 75-yard touchdown runs.
And I think we got to give credit where it's due, especially early on in that game. Some of those longer passes they hit to Williams and to Wesco and DeMore, those are just really great catches. I mean, God bless Judge Collier, was playing really good defense on a couple of those, and they just made really spectacular catches. So, again, you're going up against a pretty good offense that, has been putting up points and yards this entire season, and sometimes those guys make plays, which they did. But, again, for Carolina to hold them to 14 points, to not allow any points off of the turnovers or anything like that, huge factor in why they won this game.
Yeah, and Judge was in phase, you call it, on those, and just credit where it's due. And we did talk about that coming in. This was not going to be the Clemson offense we saw in Williams-Brice Stadium last year that just did not really have a passing game. You look at the year prior, in Clemson, not really a passing game. I think at 99 yards passing in both of those games. So we knew that would not be the case. I also kept thinking, guys, throughout the first half, I was like, I don't know if this is sustainable for Clemson. Like, if you hit a number of those kind of 50-50 balls, and it's one thing if your guy is just beating the defense by 2-3 steps and you're just saying, wow, they can't cover him. It's another if it's kind of a truly 50-50 ball situation and your guy on a good DB happens to make a play 2, 3, 4 times. You're going, all right, you got us in the first half, but can you keep doing that? And as the game progressed, I think the answer was no. Vakari Swain played a lot of snaps, it looked like, in the second half, and I thought played very, very well to me, has really come on this year as the season has progressed. Reminded me a little bit of Marcellus Dahl and him kind of finishing the year in Death Valley 2 years ago with a really, really strong game against Clemson, and then kind of catapulted that into a great next year as a true starter at South Carolina. So there were some moments with him, if you take away kind of, all right, Sellers was a superstar. There were some big plays from other guys, but to take it back to D-Knight, just the athleticism to dive and get under that football as a linebacker. We've talked about his speed, overall athleticism all season long. That was on display again. And our guy has definitely made himself some money when NFL teams really start to dive in A, to his film, but B, to who he is as a person.
Something we talked about in this game. Can you force Cade Klubnik, who's done a good job this year, of not making some of those mistakes he made last year, those critical errors, kind of the boneheaded, I think you called it, Wes, accurately, mistakes. And it took all game, but you got one because, Clemson right there, if you're South Carolina, you're thinking, don't give up a game-winning touchdown. But at the minimum, you're thinking, we're probably about to play for overtime, right? We're probably playing some extra free football here. Instead, Klubnik, who was told, and Dabo was very frustrated, throw the ball away or take a shot, tries to throw the ball to the running back on the run. Dylan Stewart, you could hear Beamer, if you've seen the sideline view, they're yelling for a hold on Dylan Stewart. Of course, that will never get called in college football again. And he's on the move, throws the ball behind, and just super, you're right, Russ, super athletic play by D. Knight. Ended up taking until the last defensive play, but you got that mistake that you needed.
Absolutely. And again, South Carolina wraps up the regular season sitting at 9-3. We'll talk about what this game means and also try and get to some of your phone calls as well as we wrap up today's edition of the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour presented by Firehouse Subs. Quick reminder, tomorrow, men's basketball in action taking on Boston College in the ACC-SEC Challenge. Pregame coverage starting at 6:30 for a 7 o'clock tip, all right here on the game. It is a Reaction Monday. Get your thoughts in 803-404-6100. Up next here on the game.
107.5 The Game.
In Columbia.
100.5 The Game.
In Florence.
100.3 The Game.
In Myrtle Beach. The Game Network. Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV.
Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. A true reflection of quality.
The Game TV.
This is Maggie Gray with the Sports Minute, sponsored by TGL, presented by SoFi. Beginning on January 7th on ESPN. Keep up, it's golf. Now that the dust has settled on their stunning loss to Michigan, the national championship hopes for the Ohio State Buckeyes are still alive. Ohio State dropped from 2 to 7 in the AP poll, and if the college football playoff rankings mirror that, Ohio State will likely still host a first-round playoff game. I'm Maggie Gray.
Welcome to TGL, presented by SoFi. Golf's newest league, live on ESPN and ESPN Plus. It's 2 hours of hammer dropping, overtime forcing, layoffs on the line. Golf, Tiger, Rory, and more of the best from the PGA Tour split into 6 teams. Learn more at TGLGolf.com and tune into the inaugural season beginning January 7th. Keep up, it's golf.
Old Spice Swagger Holiday Pack, perfect for a gift to treat yourself. 24/7 holiday freshness with daily use can smell your bestest. I'm gonna be smelling great all season. Old Spice scents just can't be beaten. Chock full of value, saving that green. Got the essentials needed to feel clean. Deodorant, hair, body wash, and spray. Celebrate your holiday the Old Spice way. Ho 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 ho.
It's football season, and now you can get anything you need for game day delivered with Uber Eats. Well, almost anything. You can't get a running back, but baby back ribs? Yes. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL.
Let me tell you about our friends over at Gold Line Framing. I'll tell you a couple Gamecocks that are super excited. I'm sure I haven't gotten to talk to them yet, but Joni James, manager, and Kendall Walsh, the owner, over at Gold Line Framing in West Columbia. I'm sure they are super pumped about the Gamecocks getting it done up in Clemson. They're going to take care of any and all of your custom framing needs. Anything from diplomas, original artwork, canvases, jersey, flags. Just talked to somebody yesterday or over the weekend who's planning on taking a whole bunch of stuff over to Gold Line Framing. I've seen what they can do. We all have here on the game. They do an amazing job. They're open Tuesday until Friday, 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., and then Saturday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. They're over in West Columbia across from Zesto, 803-739-1337. That's how you can get in touch with our friends over at Gold Line Framing. All of your custom framing needs, go check them out at Gold Line Framing.
Hey guys, it's Jay Phillips for the Men's Clinic. Too often guys won't go to the doctor when they're feeling off, whether it's because they think they can tough it out or because they just don't want to talk about it. Don't be that guy. Get to feeling better after you see Dr. Dan Balknight and his team at the Men's Clinic. They are experts in health care for men and dedicated to making you feel like yourself again. You can schedule a free consultation by calling 803-875-MENS and learn more online at themensclinicsc.com.
Do you have sagging, soft, or bouncy floors in your home? Well, this could be a sign of rotten wood caused by moisture in your crawl space. Damaged wood in your crawl space can affect your home's foundation, and that can affect your home's value, and nobody wants that. Say goodbye to sagging floors and hello to a stable foundation. Contact Canty today for your free inspection at 803-424-8380 or visit cantycanfixit.com.
It's Reaction Monday.
Sponsored by Carolina Honda Powerhouse. CarolinaHonda.com.
Your home of the Gamecocks in the Midlands. 107.5 The Game. Also heard on the Grand Strand at 100.3 The Game. And in the PD at 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Power back, the head off the left side.
No, we
and
didn't.
The Gamecocks stand him up.
Didn't get it.
They stand up the Clemson Tigers and deny them on their first fourth down of the afternoon. Turnover on downs. Carolina's got the football.
Welcome back in. It is the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour presented by Firehouse Subs. Tyler West, Chris along with you on your Reaction Monday. That was the aforementioned stop on fourth down early in the game. Demetrius Knight having a big hand to that. Brian Thomas Jr. also getting in there and helping that play develop there after Demetrius Knight had made the key tackle where he kind of wrapped up and slung Phil Maffa backwards on the third down early in that game where, Dabo Sweeney decided to be aggressive and try and go for it deep in Carolina territory and obviously ended up coming away with no points after that one. Want to slide in some of your thoughts as well, 803-404-6100. Let's head out to Brian on the Love Chevrolet phone lines. Brian, been hanging on for a little bit here. Appreciate your patience. What's on your mind today?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Good.
Good. Listen, I just want to say how proud I am of the team. They did an awesome job Saturday, and also I got a name for that game from Saturday.
Okay.
My name is the Sellers Shake and Bake Show.
I like it. I like it. Shake and bake. Somebody in our text line earlier actually said it looks like Sellers is covered in Crisco, so that kind of correlates there a little bit.
Yeah, I guess I might have taken that from the Talladega Nights movie, but
sure.
Anyway, yeah, I said the way he was just slipping out of tackles and just making the moves he made. Yeah, it was awesome to watch.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate the call. 803-404-6100. And, the name, and people have been doing it coming away from this game this weekend. People say, man, that's Cam Newton-esque. I'm not saying he's Cam Newton, and Cam Newton is probably one of the single greatest college football players of all time. Not saying he's at that level, but when you think about his stature and his physical abilities with speed, going head-to-head with linebackers that he's either right at the same size for or only a little bit smaller than, you can see why he's so tough to bring down.
Yeah, I mean, to be that height and weight, that stature, and to be able to run like he can, he has uncanny strength, first of all. And you can see that in the pocket. He can dip down on guys, and they're like almost on his back, and he can just get out of it because the guy can squat like 600-something pounds, first of all, which is not normal. And then, I mean, this is something I heard from a couple guys I know who cover Clemson. They both mentioned independently just the acceleration. So when he gets in the open field, it doesn't take him long to get to top speed, and he's past you. And if you go back and watch those runs, a lot of Clemson players are they don't know what to do, right? Because he's got a combination of strength where he can shake off guys. I mean, Wade Woodaz, who was the spy on that last play of that last touchdown run, actually was able to reverse course and get to him. He's fell right off.
Yeah.
And then Sellers keeps going, so he can accelerate, and then he's got vision. You saw he made a Clemson linebacker guess wrong. He had to anticipate the cut, and then Sellers was able to just counter, very quickly on the fly. So it's a crazy skill set for somebody his size.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of look at the best in college athletics at the quarterback position in recent years. I mean, Cam kind of comes to mind. Lamar Jackson, who is obviously much smaller, but just the way he is able to kind of impact a game at will. Like, I think a lot of times you see quarterbacks who, in those scramble drill situations, will take advantage if a defense leaves that opportunity for them. With Sellers, it's almost like he just decides, all right, I'm about to make something happen with my legs. And Clemson, yeah, they were in, it looked like man coverage, but they did have the spy, like Chris says. So you're in a call where you're trying to protect the end zone, but you're also specifically trying to keep LaNorris from doing exactly what he did. And he just decides, I'm going to do it anyway. And, it's the combination of all those things, the vision, the speed, explosiveness, the size, the strength, the balance, all those things. I also, guys, wonder, and when we're talking about a game where you were talking about little small details being the difference in winning or losing, a tight game, I think Clemson's game plan on offense was do not let the edge guys beat you. I think Clemson's game plan on defense was attack the football. How many times, and it paid off to an extent, give them credit. How many times did we see Clemson, of course, knock the ball out a couple of times, but how many times did we see their guys just punching at the football when plays were in the open field? It looked like on College Football 25 when people are just like spamming the trigger and they're trying to like pop the ball out. How many times do we see them going for the football? When you're in the open field against LaNorris Sellers, who has proven to be the most explosive quarterback in the country outside of the pocket in terms of creating big plays, you can't be so worried about getting the football out that you let this guy carry you 15 yards down the field. And I think Clemson lost the plot a little bit in terms of trying to tackle him when he got out in the open field.
Couple late submissions for names for this game. Nameless Texter weighs in and says, Clemson has the catch, now we have the run. Nameless Texter also says, we can call it the Crisco Kid game. Because, again, they're just sliding off of him like he was covered and slippery like that. Plenty more to get into about this game, as well as South Carolina's potential postseason destinations, whether that be in the college football playoff or a bowl game coming up tomorrow. We're obviously going to learn the poll that's going to matter the most to South Carolina tomorrow, because it's going to be interesting to see who they're ahead and who they're behind going to Conference Championship Weekend and what that means for their hopes of making the college football playoff. That is coming up tomorrow. It is the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour presented by Firehouse Subs. Halftime show myself, Terry Ford. Up next as your Reaction Monday rolls along here on The Game.